I do think this is a bit of another conversation, but again, I think the church just drops the ball in the way that, and because so many people, both Catholic, but if it's a Christian denomination, whether it's Catholic or Protestant Christians, the way that it's presented, and it is meant to be, like you said, such a vital portion of our relationship that it actually is detrimental. And I think, especially the way that often like there's a book called like Her Needs, His Needs. There's another book that I read by like Shawnee, somebody I think was her name. And it was What a Man Really Wants or something. And these are all Christian-based authors. And they were always presented as, women, this is what your husband needs. So just make sure that like if you're going to be a good wife, like this is what you're doing. And they don't present it from, well, the women actually need it too. And would be way more involved and desiring things if the men, because in my perspective, the Bible puts it there that the men should lead, and the church is great at talking about how the men should lead when it comes to ruling and controlling things, but this is where they should lead too, because then if they're doing the caring and the thoughtfulness and the nurturing correctly, then you don't have to have a conversation about how often men and husbands and have sex, because again, like outside of a handful of times where different circumstances have caused a disconnect between my husband and I outside of the bedroom that affected that drive for me, and a lot of it too had to do with it triggering some of the past things for me. I don't think there's ever a moment in our relationship that anybody would have a conversation with my husband and he'd be like, like, yeah, like right now that's a bad, like I'm struggling, I need more of that. Like,
right. Well, and it's because you guys could talk about it. And it's because you make each other feel safe and comforted. And, you guys just have a good way of connecting with each other, and you make it a priority. I love all your date nights. You've got all these kids, but yet you make date night a priority.
And we do a lot of different things for our date nights. It's not a movie or just
you guys.
And sometimes we do dating.
Exactly. And I think that's important. Yeah, I think that's important. And trips. Yeah. You don't always take the kids on the trips. You guys go for a couple of days someplace just by yourselves. And I think that's huge, especially with children, because if you don't do that, then when are you ever going to have time to be by yourselves and really have that connection and kind of almost say off limits? Let's not talk about the clinic. Let's not talk about the kids. Let's just focus on each other. And that's huge. And I see you guys doing that a lot, which is really important. Brad and I don't have kids, so we don't have to worry about that because we've got that time, So I think that that's another thing where are you at and what kind of time? So if you're not doing this, you need to probably think about what's getting in your way.